Okay. So now we are going to discuss about the instrumentation control of steam heater. Okay, so first note the similarities between liquid to liquid heat exchanger and steam heater. Both are non-linear. Okay, and the sensor location, the time lag consideration, etc., are similar to liquid to liquid heat exchanger. Okay, so if you are considering the measurement location, it must not be far away from the heat exchanger. It must not be very close to the heat exchanger. So a small adjustment must be there. And second one is time lag. Have some time lag, so we have to consider that also. Okay, and we need to use equal percentage valve. Why we are using equal percentage valve? Equal percentage valve is used to maintain the loop gain constant, and here the requirement of equal percentage valve is means the steam heater is demanding equal percentage valve than the liquid to liquid heat exchanger. Means the why we are, so you know, to explain that why we are using steam heater. So liquid to liquid heat exchanger and steam heater both are used to change the temperature. So in liquid heat exchanger, I told you two different types are the cooler and heater. And if you are considering heater is used to increase the temperature of process medium. Steam heater is also used to increase the temperature of process medium. Then what's the difference? By using liquid to liquid heat exchanger, that is heater, the increase in temperature that we can provide is limited. Beyond a limit, we can't increase the temperature. If you want to increase the temperature of process medium beyond a limit, if the step size required is large, then we have to transfer that much energy to the process medium. So only steam can provide that much energy to the process medium so that we can increase the temperature beyond a limit. So for the purpose, steam heater is used. Okay. So if you are using steam heater, or if the process is demanding steam heater, the such process or the process gain of such process is or the variation of process gain of such process is large compared to the liquid to liquid heat exchanger. Means the why we are using equal percentage? What? In order to compensate the degrees of process gain with respect to the heat transfer medium load or flow rate. Okay, so here that variation is very large, means we need equal percentage valve. Okay, definitely we need equal percentage valve. Okay, so that one is another thing. So here also we need equal percentage valve. Okay, and now second thing is, I told you steam heater is used to provide that much heat energy, means the rangeability required is also very large. So the control valve size also, size of control valve required is also very large. So that also you have to remember. Okay, so please note there are some similarities, there are some differences. Now the main difference is about the phase and temperature of both process medium and heat transfer medium. Okay, so this one is steam heater. So first note this diagram. So this one is the steam heater. I told you by using the diagram itself we can identify the type of heat exchanger. So please note the process medium is represented by using two parallel lines. So this one is a process medium, and you can see that a continuous line is used to represent the process medium. So this is liquid. And before operation it is liquid, after operation this is liquid, means the phase of process medium is not changed. Before and after operation the phase of process medium is same, phase is not changed. Only the temperature is changed. Temperature is increased from T1 to T2. So temperature is changed, the phase is not changed. Okay. Now if this one is process medium, definitely this one is a heat transfer medium. Now you can see the direction. This one is a direction. So this one is the inlet side and this one is the outlet side. So at the inlet sides you can see before and after operation you can see bubbles, means the temperature liquid is relatively high The temperature of heat transfer medium is relatively high. But what is the difference? Before heat transition, you can see broken bubbles. Means this is vapor, and after heat transition, that vapor is condensed to liquid. Okay. So before heat transition, broken bubble means it is vapor with high temperature. After heat transition, that one is condensed to liquid, but still it is bubble, means the temperature is high. Means normally what is happening if you are using saturated steam, during heat transition, that energy carried by the steam is transferred to the process medium, so that the temperature of process medium is increased from T1 to T2. So definitely the energy after the transition of heat energy, the steam is condensed. Means the degrees of heat energy is, due to the degrees of heat energy, the phase of heat transfer medium is changed. Temperature will not change. Okay. So the phase of heat transfer medium is changed, means it is converted to liquid from vapor. Temperature is almost constant. Temperature remains constant. So there is no change in temperature. The phase is changed in heat transfer medium. In process medium, there is no change in phase. Temperature is changed. So if you are deriving the process equation of this steam heater, the heat energy transferred by the steam is lambda into Ws, where lambda is the latent heat and Ws is the flow rate of steam. So this is a variable and this is a parameter. Okay. So the energy absorbed by the process medium is Cp, that is specific heat, into flow rate of process medium, that is constant before and after operation, into T2, that is the largest temperature, minus T1, where T1, T2 and W are variables, Cp is a parameter. So this is a process equation. How many variables are there? 1, 2, 3, 4 variables are there, and one equation is there. So 4 minus 1, 3 is the degrees of freedom of steam heater. Means maximum we can implement 3 independent control loops. Okay, so this is one difference between liquid to liquid heat exchanger and steam heater. In liquid to liquid heat exchanger, degrees of freedom is 5, and if you are using a bypass line, that is increased to 6. Here the degrees of freedom of steam heater is 3, and if you are using a bypass line, then that one is increased to 4. Okay. Okay. So now the instrumentation control of steam heater. So please note down this diagram. This one is a normal control strategy that is used. So please note down this diagram. So this one is a instrumentation control of steam heater. So again, what we are controlling? We are controlling the temperature of process medium. Means in order to maintain the temperature of process medium at a particular temperature, that is T2, steam heater is used. So maintaining this T2 is our objective. So for the purpose, this T2 is measured. So temperature is measured. The outlet temperature of process medium, output temperature of the process medium is measured. So this one is a location of temperature measurement. And in order to maintain this temperature at a T2, what we are manipulating? The manipulating variable is important. So please note, again, what are the variable? What is the process equation? The process equation is lambda Ws is equal to Cp into W into T2 minus T1. This is a process equation. So the process variables are Ws, the steam flow rate, W, the process medium flow rate, T2, T1, the outlet and inlet temperature of process medium. These are the process variables. Out of these 4 process variables, T2 is the controlled variable. So we can manipulate T2. Here in this particular situation, we can manipulate T2. In some situation, we can manipulate the same control variable. Here that is not possible. So can we manipulate T1? Not possible. So this is not possible. So the choice is either W or Ws. So before that, why this condensate flow rate is not a choice? due to this heat transition, steam is converted to this one, condensate. Okay, the amount of vapor, that one is condensed, or that condensation rate, depending upon a number of factors, like it is depending upon this temperature, this flow rate, it is depending upon this flow rate, that is steam flow rate, the steam temperature, steam pressure, a number of factors. And the interesting thing is, large amount of steam is converted to liquid. So volumetric flow rate point, mass flow rate will be same, but volumetric flow rate point of view, you can see that if large amount of steam is converted to liquid, then the range of steam flow rate is very large. But what about the range of this condensate flow rate? That one is decreased to a very, very, very small value. Okay, so controlling such a or manipulating such a one is not effective. We can't effectively maintain this temperature at the required value by manipulating the condensate flow rate. But in some situation, we have to manipulate this one definitely. But such control or the effectiveness of such control loop is very small. So please note that. Okay, so manipulating the steam flow rate is more effective compared to the manipulation of condensation flow rate. So here the temperature is measured, and with respect to the temperature measurement, TIC is manipulating the steam flow rate. Okay, so here you can see that we are using normally closed valve. Why? We are using steam. So if the control signal is failed, means we need to stop the flow rate of steam through this heat exchanger. Otherwise, what will happen? If it is normally open, maximum steam is allowed to pass through this steam heater. So definitely the product may be decomposed, may be burnt, whatever. So some failure will occur here. In process, some failure will occur. Okay, so in order to avoid that, if the control signal is failed, we have to close this steam flow rate. So for the purpose, the normally closed or failed closed control valve is used. Okay, so please note, if the temperature measurement is large, means greater than T2, then we have to close the control valve by reducing the control signal. By reducing the control signal, we can close the control valve so that the temperature is decreased. Similarly, if the temperature measurement is small, in order to increase the temperature, we have to increase the control signal so that the control valve is open. So maximum steam is allowed to pass to the heat exchanger, so this temperature will increase. So this is the operation. Now what is the disadvantage? So please note the location of this one, the discussion about the location of temperature measurement is similar to the discussion of location of temperature measurement, or the location of temperature measurement that we discussed in liquid to liquid heat exchanger. Okay. So now, what are the disadvantages? And the disadvantage. Liquid to liquid heat exchanger discuss the all disadvantages of applicable. Means we can use this instrumentation if the process is regularly affected by the disturbance and time lag is large. If the process is have high time lag and high load effect, then we can't use this instrumentation. We have to use bypass line. Okay. So the same instrumentation we can use here. Okay. Now the another disadvantage is we are using steam here. Okay. So low operating temperature and low load will create another problem. Low operating temperature and low load will create a second problem, that is known as blown up problem. Blown up problem. Okay. Blown up problem means, say we have small load and small operating temperature. So if you have small load and small operating temperature, then with respect to if you are passing steam through this heat exchanger under this low load condition, this liquid is converted to condensate. So here we have condensate, but the problem is due to that small load, here the pressure will be, due to this sudden conversion, the pressure inside this heat exchanger or somewhere here, pressure will be very, very small. Okay, and due to that very small pressure, we can remove this condensate from this point to some another point. Because this pressure is small, this pressure is less than pressure at this point, so we can transfer this liquid, this condensate from this point to the next point. That is not possible. So what will happen? The liquid remains inside this pipeline. So with respect to the condensation, so here a condensation is occurred. So with respect to the condensation, the liquid will increase, liquid level will increase. So with respect to the increase of liquid, slowly this heat transfer area will decrease. Okay. So what is happening if the heat transfer area is decreased? Definitely the heat transaction will decrease. With respect to the decrease of heat transaction, condensation rate will decrease. That is one problem. And what is the second problem? Liquid level inside this pipeline and this heat exchanger is increased. So the liquid head will increase. So with respect to the increase of liquid head, at a particular point, that liquid head is sufficient to remove this liquid from this point to the next point. After some time, after a particular time, the liquid head is increased, so this pressure is increased. So that pressure is sufficient to remove entire liquid that is tapped inside the pipeline and the heat exchanger to the next point. Okay, so what will happen? Suddenly, the liquid inside this pipeline is removed from this pipeline to the next point. So suddenly, this heat transfer area is increased. Suddenly, this liquid is removed from this pipeline and heat exchanger. So suddenly, heat transfer area is increased. If it have low load and low operating temperature condition, it have the problem like blown up problem. Okay, so how to avoid this? So why it is present? This problem is present if this gas have inert gases, if steam have some inert. Okay, if it have very, very large volatile component, if the steam is carrying very, very large amount of volatile component, highly volatile component or inert gas, this problem is present. Okay, so blown up problem is present if steam is carrying inert gas also. Is it okay? So then what we have to do? So if we have blown up problem, then I told you we can't manipulate the steam flow rate because blown up problem is there. At that situation, we have to manipulate the condensate flow rate. Why we have blown up problem? Blown up problem is there because the heat transfer area is varying. For a time duration, heat transfer area is decreasing. After that duration, heat transfer area is suddenly increased. So due to the large and quick variation of heat transfer area, we have blown up problem. So in order to avoid that problem, instead of manipulating steam flow rate, we have to manipulate condensate flow rate. Okay, so that is our next instrumentation. Before that, please note, if you are manipulating condensate flow rate, please note the control action will be less effective. Accuracy is degraded, but there is no other choice. In order to avoid blown up problem, we have to manipulate condensate flow rate. So throttling condensate is our next instrumentation. Please note, we have to choose this instrumentation if the process have high blown up problem. Okay, if we don't have any blown up problem, we have to manipulate the steam flow rate. Otherwise, if we have blown up problem, we have to manipulate the condensate flow rate even if it is less accurate. Okay. So please note down this diagram. So here, this is condensate throttling. So here we are manipulating we are throttling the condensate flow, right? So please note the accurate temperature control is not possible here. Okay. So the main reason is this condensate is actually we can't say the exact relationship between the condensate rate and this process. That is one problem. Okay. Then we are using this one if the process have low load and low operating temperature. So if it is low load, then variation of that the load condition will be large. Okay. Then it will have the change in geometry of exchanger, means this heat transfer area, we are trying to maintain this one. Okay, so if you are trying to maintain this one, if you are reducing the heat transfer area, definitely the speed of response will decrease. Okay, so these problems are there with this thing, but we are forced to use this one. Okay, so how we are using this one? So if temperature is, if you want to maintain the temperature at T2, so for a time being, assume that this one is maintained at T2. If it is maintained at T2, then the the characteristics of heat exchanger is also maintained constant. Means the heat transfer area is maintained constant. So this one is a heat transfer area. The volume above this or area above this liquid level, that one is a heat transfer area. Okay, so that one is maintained constant. Now the flow rate, the steam flow rate is maintained constant. The condensate rate is also maintained constant. So that condition is known as the equilibrium condition. Okay, so now the temperature is decreased. The temperature is decreased from the set point. Okay, so if the temperature is decreased, what we need to use? We need to increase the heat transaction. Am I correct? By increasing the heat transaction, we have to increase the temperature of process medium. So as the flow rate of steam is constant here, so you can see that the flow rate of steam is constant. Then in order to increase the heat transaction, we have to increase the heat transfer area. This heat transfer area, the area above this liquid level must be increased. How can we increase this heat transfer area? By decreasing the liquid level inside this drum. By decreasing the liquid level inside this steam heater, we can increase the heat transfer area. So please note, if the current temperature, if the temperature measurement is small, then in order to increase the heat transfer area is increased by decreasing the liquid level. How can we decrease the liquid level? By removing this liquid from this steam, this drum. So we can remove this liquid inside this steam by opening this control valve. So by opening this control, up means opening this control valve, we can decrease the liquid level. So heat transfer area is increased. So more heat transaction is occurred. So we can increase the temperature. Okay, so please note, if temperature measurement is small, then by opening this control valve, the condensate flow rate is increased. So liquid level inside the drum is decreased. So heat transfer area is increased. So heat transaction is increased. So we can increase the temperature of process medium. Okay. So please note, here we are using normally closed control valve. So if you are using normally closed control valve, then in order to open this control valve, what we have to use? We have to increase this control signal. Am I correct? By increasing the control signal, we can open the control valve. Right? So by increasing the control signal, we can open the control valve. So now, explanatory purpose, if temperature measurement is small, if the current temperature is small, by increasing the control signal, we have to open the control valve so that the heat transfer area, liquid level inside the steam drum is decreased. So heat transfer area is increased so that the process temperature will increase. This is the process. Now reverse. If temperature measurement is large, then by increasing the control signal, by decreasing the control signal, I am very sorry. By decreasing the control signal, once I am repeating, if the temperature measurement is large, then by decreasing the control signal, we have to close the control valve so that the liquid level inside the steam drum is increased. So more and more area is covered. So heat transfer area is decreased so that the temperature is decreased. Temperature of process medium is decreased. So this one is a process. But what is the advantage? We can avoid the problem of blown up problem. We can avoid blown up problem. What is the disadvantage? The controller is less accurate. Entirely opposed to the previous one. Previous one is more accurate, but if it have low load and low operating temperature condition, the blown up problem is there. Okay, so if the process is demanding a little bit better accuracy, And if the process is if the process wants to decrease the blown up problem, then we need an instrumentation between that one is lying between this instrumentation, that is condensate throttling instrumentation, and the previous one, that is steam manipulation, the throttling of steam flow rate. So we need a compromise between these two instrumentation if we want a better accuracy and less blown up problem, if we want these two things. Okay, so that one is our next one, level controller. Okay, so please note down this diagram. So please note down this diagram, level controller, which can provide better accuracy compared to the condensate throttling, but still it can handle the blown up problem. It can't give the same accuracy of the steam manipulator, steam throttling. It can give better accuracy, but that accuracy level will be less than the accuracy of steam manipulator, but it can handle blown up problem. Okay, so please note down this diagram, level controller. So here, first consider the first instrumentation that we discussed, the manipulation of steam flow rate or steam throttling case. So why it have blown up problem? If it have low load and low operating temperature, because due to the sudden variation of heat transfer area, a small pressure is created. So for a time being, liquid is trapped inside the heat exchanger. So due to that, liquid head will increase. So suddenly that one is removed. So due to the sudden variation of heat transfer area, blown up problem is occurred. So if you are able to avoid the sudden variation of heat transfer area, we can avoid the blown up problem. So here, compared to the first instrumentation, that is throttling of steam flow rate, in that particular instrumentation, the heat transfer area is 100%. The heat transfer area is fully available. But here, you can see that that one is partially available. A small portion is covered by liquid, means indirectly we are maintaining this liquid level constant. If you are maintaining this liquid level constant, the remaining portion is available for heat transaction. But that one is available, means that heat transfer area is fixed. For a time being, assume that this heat transfer area, even if it is partially available, that one is fixed, because liquid level inside this steam heater is fixed. So under this condition, you can see that this part is similar to what we discussed in the first instrumentation. This one is nothing but the throttling of steam flow rate. Temperature is measured, and by using the temperature, this controller is manipulating the steam flow rate. Am I correct? So this is similar to what we discussed in the first instrumentation. Now, if it have blown up problem, or why it have blown up problem? If it is due to the very small pressure, liquid level is changing. Okay, so now you can see that if liquid level is increasing due to some reason, if liquid level is increasing or decreasing, here you can see that a second controller is also used, a level controller is also used. And how it is operating? An external tap is taken both from the steam side and the condensate side. Okay, so you can see that this one is an external tap or external pipeline, and the liquid level inside that pipeline is measured, LT is measured. So this liquid level will be exactly equal to the liquid level inside the steam heater, because this one is a closed one. Okay, so these two are exactly equal. So this liquid level is measured, and if there are any variation in liquid level, that variation is corrected by manipulating the condensate flow rate. If it is not varying, then this condensate flow rate will be constant. This condensate flow rate is constant if this liquid level is constant. If it is varying, if there is any variation in liquid level, then the condensate flow rate is constant. Is it okay? So we are maintaining the liquid level constant. But in some situation, we have to change the liquid level. Can you say what is that situation? If the current heat transfer area is not sufficient, if the increase in temperature required is very large, then manipulation of steam flow rate is not sufficient. We have to increase the heat transfer area. Okay, so please note, if the increase in temperature required is very large, then we have to open this control valve beyond 50% or towards 100% point. Okay, so if it is opening very close to 100% means it is becoming non-linear, means it is approaching that saturation non-linearity. So we have to avoid that situation. So in order to avoid that situation, the choice is we have to increase this heat transfer area. So you can see a control signal. So this one is a control signal given by TIC, and you can see that the same control signal is given to this VPC as a measurement. This one is a control signal given by TIC, is acting as the measurement of VPC. So what is VPC? VPC is the device, a controller which is used to set the set point of this LIC. Normally the set point of this LIC is 50%. Normally the set point of this LIC is 50%. That one is given by VPC. Okay, so set at 50%. This VPC is set at 50%. Okay, so now if this one is varied, if this control signal is varied, means if this control signal is varied from 50%, now you can see that this VPC is giving a difference. Okay, this is actually an integer controller. Okay, I will tell you why we are using an integer controller. For a time being, if there is any error, then with respect to error, this VPC will give a modified control signal. So what is happening to this value? That one is changed from 50%. That one is changed from 50%. Okay, and why we are using an integral action? What is the advantage of integral action? Integral action will not respond quickly. The response of integral action is very small. Slowly it will respond. Okay, so even if it is demanded, even if we want to increase the liquid level, even if we want to change the heat transfer area, the change in heat transfer provided by this controller will be small. Means the speed of response of variation of this heat transfer area will be small due to this integral action. Quickly respond cheyilla, padakke respond cheyum. Is it okay? So normally we are fixing this heat transfer area constant. We are just operating this particular one. Okay, so assume that this liquid level is 50%. This liquid level is maintained at 50%. We are just manipulating the steam flow rate to maintain the temperature constant. But in some situation, the system will demand more steam flow rate. If this temperature is extremely low, the system will demand more steam flow rate. But demanding more steam flow rate by using controller can't give a very large control signal or very small control signal. But the problem is this control valve has saturation problem. It can't open beyond 100%. It can't close beyond 0% opening. That is not possible. So if it is demanding more opening or if it is demanding more steam flow rate, then why it is demanding more steam flow rate? Because heat transaction required is small. Because the temperature is very small, actually this controller is demanding more heat transaction. Actually it is not demanding more opening, actually it is demanding more heat transaction. So controller is demanding more heat transaction. We can achieve, actually what is heat transaction? Heat transaction is actually flow rate into effective heat transfer area. The flow rate of steam into effective heat transfer area. So if the process is demanding more heat transaction, either we need to increase this steam flow rate or we need to increase the heat transfer area. So normally we are changing steam flow rate. But if the demand is more, rather than changing this steam flow rate, we can change the heat transfer area. So that we are going to explain now. So normally we are changing the steam flow rate if the demand is small. If the demand is large, then rather than changing the steam flow rate, we are changing the heat transfer area. So please note, we are going to discuss about that. So think about the case, if you want to increase the heat transfer area, if you want to increase this one, definitely we want to decrease this liquid level. So decreasing this liquid level is possible if and only if you are increasing this condensate rate or if you are opening this control valve. Okay, this is normally closed valve, so we can open this control valve by increasing this control signal. By increasing this control signal, we can open the control valve. So this control signal is given by LIC, whose set point is this one and measurement is this one. Okay. So this measurement will decrease, this liquid level will decrease only if you are opening this control. So how to open this control valve? You know, to open this control valve, we can decrease the liquid level. We can decrease liquid level only after this control action. So before that, we can decrease this liquid level. So what we can do? We can change this set point. So in order to increase the control signal, we are decreasing the set point. Means we want less set point, less liquid level inside this one. Means we want to decrease the set point. So for a time being, this set point is small, measurement is small. So the LIC will give large control signal. Okay, so this valve is open. Okay, so who is giving that set point? This set point. This VPC is giving this set point. So VPC is giving small control signal. Small set point means VPC is giving small control. VPC is giving small set point. Now think about VPC. You can see that the set point of VPC is 50%. That is fixed. The valve is 50% open. This valve is normally 50% open. This one normally. That is why the set point is 50%. But this value, the control signals given by VPC is decreased means what is changed? Definitely this measurement of VPC is changed. Who is giving this measurement? This controller TIC. Okay. So what is happening? What is happening to this measurement? Why we are decreasing the liquid level? Because this process is demanding more heat transaction. So under normal situation, if it is demanding more heat transaction, definitely this steam flow rate is increased by increasing this control signal. Means this control signal is increased. So now we can correlate one by one. Okay. So if this temperature measurement is small, TIC is giving a large control signal. So definitely this control valve will act accordingly. Forget about that. We are not discussing about this control valve. So if temperature measurement is small, TIC control output is increased. So the measurement of VPC is also increased. The set point of VPC is fixed. So if this one is increased, the control output given by the VPC is decreased, which is acting as the set point of this LIC controller. Okay. So as it is decreased, the control signal given by this LIC will increase, so that the condensate flow rate is increased. So that the condensate flow rate is increased, liquid level inside this one is decreased, heat transfer area is increased. So this is happening. Once again, I am repeating one by one. Please remember that I am stopping this class now. With respect to the small measurement, extremely small measurement, TICs will give a very large control output, which is acting as the measurement of VPC. So that measurement of VPC is increased. As the set point of VPC is fixed. So with respect to the increase of this measurement, the control output given by the VPC is decreased. Okay. Means the set point of LIC is decreased. Okay. So automatically the control output given by the LIC is increased. Okay. So with respect to the increase of this control output given by LIC, this control valve is open, condensate flow rate is increased, liquid level inside the steam boiler is decreased, heat transfer area is increased. So as the heat transfer area is increased, we can meet the demand without increasing this steam control valve to 100%. There is no need to open this control valve up to 100% because this heat transfer area is increased, so it will provide the necessary heat transaction. There is no need to provide that much increasing increasing this control valve. Okay, there is no need to do that. Okay. So I am stopping here. So I am asking you to identify the type of reverse acting and direct acting. Is it with respect to measurement or with respect to the error? Is it with respect to error or with respect to the measurement? At least you can identify this one. I told you set point is decreased and measurement is increased. If set point is decreased, so for a time being this one is fixed. If set point is decreased, error will become negative. So for negative error, control signal is increased. Okay, so for negative error, if the control signal is increased, definitely it will be a reverse acting controller with respect to error. But here direct acting is marked. So What is the meaning? This one is direct acting with respect to the measurement. Compared to the set point, measurement is more. Means if measurement is more, control signal is more. So please note here, direct acting or reverse acting is with respect to the measurement, not with respect to the error. Okay. So once again, try to understand this one. This one is a homework. How it is reverse acting, how it is direct acting. Please identify that. Okay. So I am stopping here.